Last episode, we talked all about why routines don't stick. Today, we're going one layer deeper because routines need systems to attach to. Now, if your house feels overwhelming, no matter how much you declutter, organize, or tidy up, it's probably because clutter isn't actually the problem. And today, we're talking about home systems. Because if you feel like you're constantly doing something around the house, cleaning, resetting, organizing, but it never actually sticks, this episode is going to explain why. Parenthood is challenging enough as it is, and getting organized sounds easier said than done. Now, combine these two together, and it's truly a balancing act that many of us struggle with day in, day out. If you're here, it's because you want to know how to get your life and home more organized and structured where the kids are involved too, so that parent life is a little easier and you can focus on what truly matters. Hey there, I'm Diane Jimenez, owner and founder of One Tidy Place. I created this podcast because I know parents have their hands full. I know this because I have 3 kids of my own. Each week, we'll talk about all things organizing, teaching kids life skills, and contributing to the home, being on the same page with your partner, and raising your kids together while you tidy up, go out for a walk, or just need some real talk. I'm here for you. Thank you for tuning in. Are you ready? Let's do this. Welcome to the Organized-ish Parent Podcast. I'm Diane Jimenez. I help moms who are stretched thin stop feeling like their house is another full-time job and start building systems that make daily life easier, not harder. Okay, so here's the core truth, and I want you to hear this first. Homes don't run on motivation. They run on systems. And when systems are missing, even the most motivated, capable moms out there feel like they're always behind. But what usually happens is this. You decide to organize, so you declutter a space. Then you're working and feeling good for a bit, and then life happens. That space you were working on, stuff starts to pile up again. Routines fall apart, and you're right back where you started, maybe even worse. Now, I want you to listen closely here. It's not because you didn't try hard enough. It's because there are 3 foundational systems every home needs before you try anything else. So let's talk about those. The first one is the drop zone system. And I know you've heard this before, but just to get clear here, this is simply where everything lands. Shoes, backpacks, mail, bags, coats. Now, if items don't have a clear place to land, they will land everywhere. Most clutter isn't random, it's just homeless. And when drop zones aren't clear or realistic, you end up spending your time and your energy reacting to the mess instead of preventing it. All right, the second system is called the reset system. This is how your house resets daily. That's right, daily. So this isn't about deep cleaning, not weekend marathons. No, I'm talking about a simple, repeatable rhythm that brings the house back to baseline. Now, when there's no reset system, everything compounds. One messy evening turns into a chaotic morning, which turns into a stressful day, which then turns into feeling like you're constantly playing catch up. Does this sound at all familiar? And finally, system number 3, and this is a huge one. It's the responsibility system. This is about who owns what, not who helps, not who pitches in when asked. No, not at all. This is about who is actually responsible for which tasks. Now, this doesn't have to all land on one kid, for instance, or one person. This can also be a shared task. For instance, one of the responsibilities my kids have is to unload the dishwasher every single day, weekends included, when they're not at school, on ped days, vacation time, anytime. It doesn't have to land on one person. Now, I just gave you an example of the dishwasher. They also share the responsibility of cleaning the bathrooms, like the toilets. We have 2 of them, 2 bathrooms, 3 kids. So there's a rotation happening at our house, okay? But the important part here is that they understand they are responsible for this task and it's not landing on myself or my husband. So let's keep going. When responsibility isn't clear, like I said, everything will default back to you, to me, in essence, the mom, right? So again, another quick side note here, because it matters, let me ask you this. Which of these systems breaks down first is often connected to your organizing style? Some moms struggle with maintenance, others with decision fatigue, and some moms are also struggling with letting go of control. That's something I help moms identify right away because the solution isn't the same for everyone. Now, these 3 foundational systems, drop zone, reset, and responsibility, come before organizing projects because organizing without these systems is like pouring water into a bucket filled with holes. Now, this is something I see over and over and over again. Every home I've worked with struggles with at least one of these systems. And usually, the one they ignore is usually the one that's causing all the problems and the most stress. When that system actually gets aligned, everything else falls into place and suddenly everything feels lighter. I've seen this in my own home too. When we stopped focusing on keeping things tidy and instead clarified where things land, how the house needs to reset, and who owns what, the house didn't just look better, it actually felt better too. And that made me feel good inside. There was less nagging, less friction, less mental load for myself and for my husband. Look, things don't have to be perfect, they never do, but they have to feel manageable. So, here's your next step. Keep it simple. Choose one space that causes daily friction. Not the whole house, not every single room, just one space. And instead of fixing the stuff, ask yourself, is this a drop zone issue? Is this a reset issue? Or is this a responsibility issue? Then fix the system, not the clutter. And once the system is in place, routines finally have something to attach to, which is exactly what I talked about in episode 89. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, go back to it next, and I'll show you how to shrink your routines so they actually stick. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just click on the video right here to watch it next. All right, so before I go, I want you to hear this. You're not failing. Your house isn't broken. You've just been trying to manage daily life without the systems that support it. If this episode was at all helpful to you, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if this resonated with you, please share it with a friend who feels overwhelmed at home. All right, my friend, I will see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.